Hi guys, it's Lita. So I'm gonna try my hand at a social commentary video, and I'm not sure how this is gonna go, so we're just gonna give it a shot. But I feel like I want to make this one because I feel like it's affected a lot of smaller channels. So I guess I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about and react to Casey Neistat's, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, Neistat's, I think it's Neistat's interview with Logan Paul. Because I've seen two channels that I watch talk about it, and I feel like I want to kind of give my 2 cents on it. So I feel like after all this went down with him and Japan and the Suicide Forest video, that YouTube kind of freaked out, and I'm not sure, but I feel like this is when they raised the monetization, and a lot of smaller channels lost their monetization. I could be wrong about that though, but I feel like after YouTube, you know, got a lot of slack from this for obvious reasons, it affected a lot of smaller channels. So, which is me, but I was not monetized. I was thinking about it, and then it kind of just got taken away before I could even click that little AdSense button. It just got jumped right up to those 4,000 views. So yeah, I've watched most of it. I was watching it while I was making dinner. So let me see what I'm at as far as the timestamp. So I'm at 26:11. I decided to stop it there, and I'm just gonna go through the video with you guys and put in the pieces that I want to talk about. I started taking notes, but then I was like, this is crazy. It's going to take me 10,000 years to get through this video because it is a long interview. But yeah, so I'm just going to run the video and just give you my 2 cents on what's being said in the video. Casey does do a preface to this interview where he says he's not sure about his stance on like Logan Paul and what he's saying in this. I am not as confused as he is, or I don't know if he's trying to be nice, but I feel like I know what is going on here. So yeah, let's just get into this reaction. Okay, so I am going to touch on one more little teeny thing that Casey mentioned, was that it affected the YouTube community. And it did, not just like the monetization, but because of that video that he dropped, a lot of people in the horror community were getting messages from YouTube that are like, your channel name is questionable, you might have to change it, you know, it's not suitable. And these are some channels that have been around for a while. And the horror YouTube channel community, I feel like, suffered as a whole, and we also came together and we created the Creepy Channel Crawl kind of to help everyone that lost like so much, because this guy decided that it was gonna be okay to like be excited about somebody's tragic death for views.
So let me start. I just want to ask, what is this documentary?
Yeah, so I mentioned it on one of my vlogs, and there's been a lot of speculation on what people think it is. The doc is not it's not a documentary about how dang hard my life has been this year. It's about the story of a young man from Ohio, a seemingly regular kid, being me of course, falling into the social media machine over the past 4 years, building an audience, garnering false power through views, which equates to money, which equates to, again, success, and then essentially losing it all overnight, becoming the most hated man in the world in the snap of a finger. So the question that the doc answers is how do you recover from that?
Okay, so I'm just gonna stop it right there because of the most hated man in the world statement. But I also want to touch on, before this even happened, I had no idea who Logan Paul was. And that might say something about my circle in YouTube, but generally I stick within like the horror community. There's some commentary channels that I watch, and I watch like Halloween hauls, thrift hauls, you know, like basic, not confrontational content, pretty basic stuff. So I had no idea about this guy. Didn't know about him at all until this video that he put out. It's just I don't understand how anybody could think that that was okay. It's never gonna be okay. So I had no idea about him, and that was the first video of his I've ever seen, which was quite shocking, I'm not going to lie. And I have definitely watched some crazy stuff, but the problem is it was this was a real person, and it was so unbelievably disrespectful. So, and I understand, I get like what he's saying, like social media can make you do some crazy things, but you can't always put the blame on that. You are your own person. I'm pretty sure he's not a robot, so he should be able to make decent decisions, or have, I don't know, the people behind him tell him that that's not a good thing to do. I think you should know that already at like 23. That's not okay. Well, let's keep going.
I'll just ask directly, is this a fluff piece to make people feel better about Logan Paul?
No, not at all. It's from making content throughout the years, I try to be as unbiased as possible. And when you say fluff piece, like what? Because
like a bullshit video that's just like, look, you should feel bad. Here's a way to characterize it. Is the video about how you've learned to better empathize with others, or is the video about making it easier for people to sympathize with you? I don't think people.
I'm just gonna stop it right there because I wanted to touch on the fact that he doesn't understand the concept of a fluff piece, which unfortunately I feel like that's what this documentary is going to be. It's going to be a damage control doc, and I don't think it's going to, well, let's hear his explanation, but I think it's going to be a fluff piece, which, like Casey said, is a bunch of bullshit.
Should, can, or will sympathize with me. Let's be honest, Casey, like, what I did, there's no distracting people. There's no, well, here's what I tried to do, and
there's no distracting people. But after he released the PSA about suicide, like right after, so that is definitely trying to turn the camera away from what he did to something that says he's completely, you know, understanding about suicide, which I feel like the video that he showed, the suicide forced video that he showed, shows that he doesn't get it. He doesn't understand how serious that really is. Also, he is totally trying to sound like the victim here. Just saying.
This is why it's okay. There's none of that. It's an unbiased, objective story that captures how something like that can happen. And what went wrong in my life that I thought that was a good idea. Because at the end of the day, I'm the one who has to look in the mirror and say, that was my decision. And that's a hard thing to do. It's even like hard talking about it right now with you, because up until that point in my life, it was really only wins. It was only success. It was only consistent growth, and everything was going so well. And I got so caught up with my actions being validated by millions of people, I forgot to be a human being in that situation, and instead decided to be a content creator. And that's where I messed up.
It's even in there, there's a little...
And this is why it's okay. There's none of that. It's an unbiased, objective story that captures how something like that can happen. And what went wrong in my life that I thought that was a good idea. Because at the end of the day, I'm the one who has to look in the mirror and say, that was my decision. And that's a hard thing to do. It's even like hard talking about it right now with you, because up until that point in my life, it was really only wins. It was only success. It was only consistent growth, and everything was going so well. And I got so caught up with my actions being validated by millions of people, I forgot to be a human being in that situation, and instead decided to be a content creator. And that's where I messed up.
It's even in there, there's a little, even in that response, there was like, maybe I'm being cynical, but there's a little whiff.
So I feel like in that statement, he's like, yeah, okay, so first off, he's like, well, what happened in my life that made me think that this was a good idea? So he's shifting the blame of his action on something in his life. So he tries to take responsibility, but then he takes it back because he says that it's YouTube's fault because he's just trying to get the views so he can get paid, and it's because he's a content creator that he decided to do this. It's just so back and forth. You don't really get anything as far as clarification for him at all and his stance.
Even in that mature, like before you can tell a redemption story, there has to be an act of redemption.
True.
So what is that? What has the act of redemption been for Logan Paul?
It's not been done yet. That's what the doc is about. And like, again, the whole idea of the, Jesus Christ,
Dude, there's a Harley dealership.
This is crazy.
It's fine.
The whole idea of the doc is like, we don't have plans for it. We don't plan on like profiting off it. If for whatever,
are you gonna monetize it?
I don't know, because what we want to do, I've told stories my whole life through a lens, as have you. So the thought process is, why let someone else make that story? Because someone's going to want to make that story. People have wanted to make that story.
I'm just going to stop it right there. Oh, because I have a couple things to say about that. Redemption. That would be redeeming yourself from a fall from moral consciousness. Your moral compass has faulted you, and you did something fucked up, so you have to do something good to redeem yourself. And he says that he hasn't even done that yet, but there's going to be a doc about it. So is he going to figure out what he has to do to redeem himself? Like, why can't he just do something good? This is the third time I've watched this part, and really troubling to hear him say that. But like I said, I don't have that much experience with him except for that one video, which was like so unbelievably problematic for so many reasons. The other problem that I have with this is the long pause after the question, are you going to monetize this? And yeah, he does follow up, I think, with a little thinking on his part that it's going to be, if it gets monetized, which I'm sure it will, it's going to be donated to a suicide like prevention charity of some sorts. So, I mean, I feel like that's damage control again too, because I don't know. I feel like that, is it going to be monetized? Yes, no, would be an automatic answer on his part, and he really had to like think about it. And then it's like he came up with that whole, well, it is probably, but I'm not going to get the money.
Person and changing the structure of the channel, and then it was days later you're shooting a dead mouse. So
Yeah.
what have you done to demonstrate you changed as a person?
The rat was that was me becoming obsessed with the idea of being a villain. When the whole world hates you, I made the conscious decision, I'm gonna be the guy they think I am. And I essentially became the architect of my own destruction.
No.
Because I wanted to be who they thought.
No, I don't buy it. I'm sorry. You're a supervillain now? No. Like, no. No. If you just like the thing that the rat thing, like he had to clarify that it was a rat. It shouldn't matter, you know, if you're being like gross, even if the animal is dead, like that's gross. Like you shouldn't tase, like it's not funny. I think it's just gross. It's in poor taste, and who's watching that? Like, I don't understand, because I don't want to see that. I just don't. I love animals. I do not want to see that. They should not be mistreated, dead or alive. They are due respect either way, whatever their state is. And he's doing this like a victim shit again. Like, he's so incredibly disingenuous, and I cannot believe like anything that's coming out of his mouth during this interview. I really can't. It's so much crap that he's coming up with. You can tell he's totally like manipulating these answers. So I've been pausing and unpausing it because my memory card's not going to do this whole 30 minutes. And I don't think you guys really want to sit here and listen to that. If you want the full interview, I will link it down below. I play this part because I found what I was hoping I would hear, because this is what it sounds like to me. People that talk like this usually do this of their own accord. So I'm just going to let this run until we hear what we need to hear, and then I'm gonna wrap this video up.
A million people every day. And so there was no thinking. It was create content, not, okay, hey, take a step back, slow down, breathe.
So where does that meet this mission of wanting to inspire and motivate? Like, do you believe that, or is that bullshit? Because if that mission is the same as this momentum, this autopilot, where's the distinction between wanting to do good and wanting to, you know, looking for sensationalism that will drive clicks?
He doesn't have it.
I'm not sure I understand the question. I also do want to say
that's why he doesn't know what that means.
While the underlying mission is always that you can, you should, you achieve, it's okay to be different. I'm not that's not what my channel is entirely about. It's a combination of that, and it is entertainment. It's a lighthearted comedy, essentially. That's what it is.
I just see those two things in conflict with one another.
Essentially, yeah, and that's why I'm a brand. That's who Logan Paul is, because I do bridge the gap between being like a motivational speaker for kids and standing on a stage in front of 300.
Yeah, that was my touchdown victory. He does what every single narcissistic person in a famous position with power starts doing, referring to themselves in the third person. I didn't think I was going to hear that, but when I was listening to this interview before I decided to do this video, I was like, he sounds like he's a third personer. And lo and behold, he just outright said it, just like I thought he was gonna. And I'm gonna stop the video here because I think I'm already like crazy long, and I want to get this up. So I can't even like him. He's not a likable person. There's nothing genuine about anything that he's saying in this interview at all. I don't think he's sorry for what he says he's sorry for. And I think the PSA video, despite how good it did, and I'm sure it was helpful to some people, but the source that it's coming from makes it feel like not meaningless, but definitely tarnished with the message that it's trying to bring, simply because of the video that he uploaded before that and didn't find anything wrong with, because he uploaded it and he doesn't accept any blame for doing this and causing this like huge upheaval in YouTube's policies and how they monetize videos and content, and they've just really cracked down on a lot of channels that did not do this, simply talk about horror movies, you know, stuff that's not real. And it's just a damn shame that one bad apple will ruin the bunch. So let me know what you guys think. Have you watched this interview? What are your thoughts on Logan Paul? I think Casey did a really good job of interviewing him and asking the stuff that people wanted him to ask. I don't think Logan Paul gave good answers. I think he definitely skirted a lot of the issues. But yeah, let me know if you guys like this video. This is my first commentary video, and just be gentle. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on other social media. My links will be posted in the description box down below. Hit that notification bell so you guys know when I upload. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.